What if you could build an entire email campaign, one that takes a total stranger and turns them into a booked call on your calendar in under 10 minutes without writing a single line of copy yourself within Claude AI? So stick with me because I'm going to show you the exact workflow I use with my own clients. My name is Tony. I've been a marketing consultant for over 10 years and I've helped companies generate millions in pipeline and revenue. Now, almost every company I have worked with has the same leak. They spend all this money getting people to raise their hand, getting more downloads, signups, opt-ins, but then only send one follow-up email or maybe even two at most, and then they just stop. The lead then goes cold, and that is one of the most expensive mistakes in marketing because that person actually showed interest and then you let them forget about you. Here's why this matters so much. The money is almost never in the first email. The fortune is in the follow-up, but almost nobody builds a real follow-up system. Let me give you a quick definition before we go any further. An email sequence is just a series of emails that goes out automatically in order over days or weeks that walks somebody from who you are all the way to take my money. And the version I love the most for building trust is what's called an educational drip. You teach your prospects something genuinely useful across a few emails, and by the time you actually make your offer, you've already proven that you know what you're talking about. For me, for example, that means teaching them product marketing, the exact stuff that I get paid to fix. Most companies skip this step entirely, and the reason is pretty simple. Writing a good sequence takes a copywriter days, sometimes weeks, and a decent email strategist will charge you a few $1,000s just to map it out and write it for you. So most people just don't do it. But I'm gonna show you how to do 80% of that work yourself with no copywriter, no extra software, and no expensive retainer. So let's get into it. All right, before we get started, let's go ahead and go to claude.com/download if you want to download the app for your desktop. Right? And then also you want to make sure that you are on a paid plan or higher. You can see here. Once you got everything set up, let's go ahead and go to the desktop app. As you can see here, there's going to be three options. Let's go ahead and click on Cowork. Go to Customize. And then you want to click on this plus button right here and add a plugin. So browse plugin and search for marketing if it's not at the top. So marketing, you can see right here, I already have it downloaded. But if not, just go ahead and click that plus button. So let's go ahead and click in here and let's learn more about what this plugin does. Create content, plan campaigns, and analyze performance across marketing channels. Maintain brand voice consistency, track competitors, and report on what's working. So basically, it's like a whole marketing department in one. And so today we're just going to focus on one skill. It is called the email sequence skill. So let's go ahead and click on this one. Let's read what this one does. So design and draft multi-email sequences with full copy, timing, branching logic, exit conditions, and performance benchmarks. Used when building onboarding, lead magnet, re-engagement, win back, or a product launch flows. When you need a complete drip campaign with A/B test suggestions, or when mapping a sequence end-to-end with a flow diagram. And then it goes into a lot more notes right here. Super powerful email sequence I use with my own clients. So let's go ahead and test this out. So we're gonna go back, new task, and I'm simply gonna put email sequence. That's all I'm gonna do. And hit the button. So right now, obviously, he's working on it and it's going to ask us very important questions coming up so that it could really fine tune the email that is going to be helping us create. As you can see, now that it is finished loading, it's asking us very specific questions so that it could really fine tune the copy that is going to create for us. So what type of sequence are you building? My favorite one is by far educational drip because I like to nurture my leads. But there are so many great ones that if you're onboarding new customers or if you're trying to lead nurture people that are cold, you want to re-engage with past customers. You have a new product that's launching. You got events that's coming up that you want to make sure that you're following up with the people who signed up. You want to upsell or upgrade. You want to win back customers who have churned. And then my favorite one, of course, is educational drip, where I'm teaching them something very important over time. So we're going to choose that one. What should this sequence achieve? So I want them to download my email marketing playbook and ultimately book a sales call with me. Who's receiving this? So I do product marketing as my consultant. So I'm going to be targeting head of marketing at B2B companies making over 1 mil. So let's just keep it simple. How many emails? I'm going to let Claude use his best judgment to do this for me. I like to do weekly And then here's is absolutely important. Any brand voice guide offers CTAs or asset I should use. The more context you give Claude, the better it's going to fine tune it so that it gives you a copy that works for you and for your customers. So give it as so much information as possible. So let's just keep it simple. I want to be direct, no jargon, and straight to the point. Going to keep it very simple. So let's go ahead and hit continue. And if you go to the top right of the desktop, you're going to notice that it has a progress, and it's going to let us know what is going to be doing in the following steps. Setting sequence architecture, drop all 6 emails plus branch, add flow logic, A/B test, benchmarks, setup, write deliverable file, and verify. To me, it's just so cool to see how Claude will think through this and work through this. Awesome, it is done. It created 6 emails for over 6 weeks. So 1 on day 0, number 2 email on day 7, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and look at the first email and see what it says. So goal, get subscribers to download the email marketing playbook, then book a call. So it knows exactly what I'm trying to accomplish with this sequence. Audience, heads of marketing at B2B companies doing over $1 million in revenue. Length is 6 emails. And then so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and see what email 1 sounds like. So it's giving us a sequence overview right here. Here is the full draft. Email 1, day 0, deliver the playbook. So summarize your B2B email playbook inside. Here's the playbook. The playbook plus what's coming. Remember, they already downloaded or signed up to get the playbook. So this is my first email that's going to send to them. Preview text, 1 idea a week. No fluff, starting now. Deliver the lead magnet they opt in for and set expectations for the series. Remember, once again, this is the purpose of that first email. First thing, you sign up for the B2B email playbook. Here it is. Download the playbook. Quick heads up on what's next. Every week, I send you one thing that actually moves the needle on B2B email. No theory, no filler, just what I use with companies like blank. So once again, ideally, I already gave Claude the context of what my company does and who I worked with before. So it would also include those in the email. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and keep it simple. Week 1, I'm giving the person an idea of what type of email they're going to receive each week. So this is awesome, like giving them a full breakdown. Primary CTA, download the playbook. Here it is, immediate on entry. I love this. So email 2 is where the lesson starts. This is the educational drip campaign that we talked about before. Why your email gets ignored. Preview text, most B2B teams send one kind of email. That's the problem. The purpose is to give them a foundational lesson, reframe email from blast to 3 jobs. Most B2B teams send one kind of email, the blast. Same message, whole list, hope for the best. That's why open drops and unsubscribe clients. You actually need 3. Welcome, nurture, convert. So I'll let you read this on your own time, but the whole point in this case is to teach them how to properly send emails and get higher open rate, right? So let's go ahead and continue down. Here, there's email 3, email 4, email 5. All this created within Claude. Let's keep going, email 6. And then here is the cool diagram that shows us lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, case study, and then a soft call to action to book an appointment. Look at that. If they say no, we send them email 6. If they say yes, no, email 6. Here is giving us the logic of what it means for conversion. It gave us the branch at email 5. The playbook download is a leading indicator, not an exit. Keep sending whether or not they download. Suppression rules, re-entry, so many different guides that we can be using. Here's some cool performance benchmark that we can look into. Open rate, ideally want to get between 30 to 45%. Click-through rate, ideally we're aiming for 4 to 8%. So much detail on what creates a successful email sequence or an email campaign. Here are some A/B test suggestions that we could test out. Metrics to track, so it's reminding us what's important. And then a setup checklist. So it's telling us how to create this email sequence on an email platform or software that you are using. How awesome is that? Now, all you gotta do is just copy this and put it into your own software. And of course, fine tune it, reread it, recheck it to make sure everything is accurate. So what do you actually do with this? There are 3 plays I want you to run. The first play is that you now have a complete follow-up system, not one lonely email you send out. Most people only send one and quit. You've got a machine that follows up for 3 straight weeks without you lifting a finger. The second play is that you can now see exactly where people drop off. That flow diagram and those metrics tell you which email is leaking, so you can go fix that one email instead of guessing and rewriting the whole thing. The third play is to reuse the engine. Take the same sequence, change the audience and the goal, and have Claude spin up a variation, like a win back for everyone who hasn't replied yet. One asset becomes 5. All right, I want to share 3 pro tips before we wrap up. And this comes from running this skill for real clients. The first tip is to feed it your real voice. Paste in your best email, the one that actually got replies. If you skip this, it writes fine, but it writes generic. And your audience can smell generic from a mile away. So fix that first. The second tip is to always set the exit condition. The fastest way to destroy trust is to send somebody day 4 of the free course after they already booked a call with you. Tell Claude exactly what counts as a conversion so people drop out the second they say yes. The third tip is don't ship it raw. Run the A/B test it gives you. Pick one thing, usually the subject line, test it, and let the data pick the winner. And then rerun this skill every single quarter with your real open and click numbers. So the copy gets sharper based on what actually worked, not what you guessed. Now that is the entire workflow from start to finish. You open Claude Cowork, you install the marketing plugin, run the email sequence skill, give it your goal, your audience, and your real voice, verify every claim in a copy is actually true, then load it in your email tool and let it run. If this was helpful for you and you want more Claude tips just like this, quick, practical, with zero fluff, hit the subscribe button on this channel. My name is Tony Chan, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.